Hello everybody, Rock here, and today we're going to talk about the engineer's health. I wanted to bring this up because I don't want anybody to fall in the same pit that I did. I'm 72 years old, and I just never took care of myself down through the years like I should have. And one of the things that I was really bad about, and as an engineer yourself, you sit through sessions and you can sit through an 8-hour session without eating anything. And I would do that so many times, and then we'd finally take a break and I'd run across the street and get McDonald's or Burger King. Burger King is right across the street from Studio B. And it's an awful thing to fall into that bad eating habit. I'd get a double Whopper and fries and a milkshake or a diet drink, thinking that would help me, Well, it finally caught up to me. In 2017, I had a stroke. And it was a Friday night, and I got up on my chair. My wife was sitting with me, and I fell into the wall. I couldn't figure out what was going on, and I thought, well, maybe my sugar or something. I got dizzy, fell into the wall. I thought maybe my sugar was up. I didn't know what it was because I couldn't feel anything bad with me, just dizziness. And so that was on a Friday. Sunday morning I woke up and I stood up out of bed and fell right down to the floor. I couldn't believe it. I thought, what is going on with me? I couldn't get up. My wife, she jumped up out of bed and come over and she's trying to help me get up. And I said, no, just let me do this myself. I don't know what's going on. And later that morning, she says, I think you had a stroke. And I go, I don't think I had a stroke. So she went and was taking a shower, and I got my iPad out, and I thought, I'm going to look this up, see what's going on. And here it was, all the symptoms of a stroke. So I told her, I said, after she got out of the shower, I said, I think I had a stroke. I just looked it up on my iPad. And Monday morning, first thing, she took me in to the hospital, and I couldn't even walk. She had to help me in the truck. And when we got to the hospital, she had called them. They had a wheelchair ready for me. And they rolled me into the emergency and put me on a table and started hooking all this stuff up to me all over. And the doctor looked over at her and said, it's a good thing you got him in here when you did, because I've seen it go the other way. And she goes, well, what's the matter with him? And they said, well, he's had a stroke. And his blood pressure is 265 over 164. I was dumbfounded by that because I didn't feel anything. I just knew my functions weren't working good. So they kept me in the hospital for a week. And they had to slowly bring my blood pressure down. And it was a process. They couldn't just bring my blood pressure down because I'd have another stroke. So they were real careful on the Western Reserve Hospital here in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. They took really good care and was real careful bringing my blood pressure down. And you know what? It was amazing. God really helped me. And I mean that when I say that, because I could have been dead. If she hadn't taken me to the hospital when she did, I'd be dead. So after being a week in the hospital, they weren't going to let me go home unless I could walk. So I was hooked up to something. I had to push it around when I got up to walk, and I was determined I was going to walk so I could get out of there. So we walked down the hall, and the doctors were watching. There were 5 doctors taking good care of me. And they watched me walk down and then walk back up the hallway, and I was pushing this thing along, and I was actually using it to help me because I wanted to get out of that hospital. So I had let my weight, I did get out of the hospital, but I had let my weight get up to 298, and I felt terrible. I started getting gout in both my feet, my hands, my legs. I had plaque psoriasis. It was affecting my face. I was in bad shape, really bad shape. So after I got home, I was trying to play my guitar. I couldn't play my guitar. My left hand wasn't even communicating with my brain. I would, want to play something, and I was devastated, to say the least. And I was like that for about 7 months. And finally, with God's help, I started getting my fingers to talk to my brain, or my brain to my fingers, and I started being able to play. I play over 21 different instruments: banjo, mandolin, guitar, piano, drums, you name it. And I used to do tracks for different groups. So going back to the hospital, they ran me through this tube thing. I was doing scans on I think it's called a CAT scan. I'm not much into hospital stuff. And they came back with my brain scan, and the doctor said, "Did you ever have a stroke before?" And I go, "No." He says, "Well, you did. It shows it was in the back of your head." I said, "Really?" And he said, the stroke Friday was on one side and stroke Sunday was on the other side. He says, "You've had 3 strokes." And that was unbelievable. He says, "How do you feel?" And I said, "Okay." He says, "Can you feel this?" He's touching my toes, and I said, "Yeah, I can feel that." And I had a lot of people praying for me. And I came out of that. I'm back to playing all my instruments. And I truly give God all the praise for that. I'm a born-again Christian, and it's wonderful how God looked out for me, and I don't want that to happen to anybody. That's why I brought this up today. And if you're having any problems at all, go get a checkup. I'm the type of person, I don't like taking any pills. I don't like going for any checkups. a normal a normal guy, so to speak. So yeah, take care of yourself. Take breaks when you're at the board mixing or whatever. Take breaks. Eat right. So I'd let myself get up to 298 pounds. And I thought, I got to do something or I'll have another stroke after all I've been through. So I asked God to help me find a way to eat so I can get this weight off. And He did help me. I found a few doctors on YouTube that talked about getting weight off and doing a carnivore diet thing. And I thought that was kind of crazy at first, but I was going to do something to get this weight off. I'm 6 foot, and I was 298 pounds. So I thought, I'm going to try this out and see. It took me about 3 weeks to get rid of the cravings. I was eating cookies, cheesecake. I love cheesecake. I was eating donuts and muffins and drinking tons of coffee. And I was just eating all wrong. So I went on this carnivore thing, and it's just meat only. And like I said, I was having trouble with my feet. I had gout. I had skin problems. I was a mess. I had arthritis in my hands and my knees. And so I went on the carnivore. And it took me about 3 weeks to get over that sugar craving, because if it wasn't nailed to the floor, I'd eat it. And it was an awful thing what I was doing to my body. After about 3 weeks, that craving left me. And I noticed I was losing about 3 or 5 pounds a week. And I was holding a lot of water, and I figured, well, it's just water coming off my system. After getting out of the hospital, I was on so much medication. I was taking, I think, 16 pills a day, just keep my blood pressure down, and it would make me feel better. So anyway, back to carnivore diet. I kept losing weight, and I went from 298 pounds down to 223 pounds. I lost 75 pounds on this carnivore diet. All the gout in my feet left me. All the arthritis in my legs and my hands, it all left me. And the plaque psoriasis I had on my hands, and you can see my hands now, it all went away. Every bit of it did. And I was feeling so good. And for about 3 or 4 months, I'd lost 75 pounds. So I was feeling pretty good, and it was coming toward Christmas time. And I'm a good baker. I made some cheesecake, and I love cheesecake. And my wife and I were on vacation during Christmas. We started eating this cheesecake. Oh my goodness. And it was a big, I think it's a 10-inch pan I made it in. It was so good. We ate the whole thing in like a couple days. And I started craving for more. So I made another one, another 10-inch cheesecake, and it was about, I don't know, 2.5 inches thick, 3 inches maybe. A New York cheesecake. Oh man, it was so good. And that's all it did. It took me right off that carnivore diet. I started gaining weight again. And I gained back 50 pounds. That was terrible. And my wife started putting on weight. So I thought, I'm going to have to get back on this thing. And it was awful. I could not get back on it. And I gained about 50 pounds of that 75 I lost back. I start taking my blood pressure pills again. And that brings me up. When I lost that 75 pounds, I was off my blood pressure medicine. I wasn't taking any more pills. In fact, the doctor took me off all my medicine, and he just gave me a 5 milligram blood pressure pill and said, if you need it, you can take it. So this carnivore diet was like a miracle, and I know God helped me find that. And so this year, after the January 1st, I started the carnivore diet again, and I've already lost 21 pounds in a month. So I'm going to stick with it this time. I've been healthy. I don't have any grogginess like I did. So I thought I'd share this with you and hope it helps somebody. I don't want to see anybody go through what I did, have a stroke or two. When that happens, it can be devastating. It can kill you. So, hope that helps. Love all of you. Subscribe to the channel and give me a like button. All right. See you next time.